Myth: crushing garlic and throwing it straight into a hot pan is the best way to get its flavor and benefits. For decades, that's what we've been told. That's a myth, and it's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. The truth is, the science of garlic is widely misunderstood. Over the next hour, we will systematically dismantle 10 common garlic myths, from the kitchen to the pharmacy, and replace them with evidence-based truths that will change how you cook and eat forever. This is about more than just taste. It's about unlocking the compounds that research suggests may support heart health and immune function. If you value making smart, informed choices about your health, grounded in real science, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell, because our mission is to deliver practical, no-nonsense guides just like this one every single week. Now, let's begin with the myth that fills kitchens with a wonderful aroma but empties garlic of its power. Myth number 1. A screaming hot pan is the secret to great garlic flavor. We've all seen it. A chef heats oil until it shimmers, then tosses in finely minced garlic. That satisfying sizzle is the sound we associate with delicious food. The logic feels sound. High heat sears steaks and vegetables, so it must do the same for garlic, right? We believe this intense, immediate heat is building a foundation of flavor for our sauce or stir-fry. But what if that sizzle is actually a scream for help? The reality is, garlic is incredibly delicate. When garlic hits a pan that's too hot, its natural sugars burn almost instantly. This creates a bitter, acrid taste that can ruin an entire dish. If you've ever tasted a sauce that was just a little off or sharp, burnt garlic was likely the culprit. But the damage goes far beyond taste. The most studied compound in garlic is called allicin, linked to many of its health-promoting properties. Allicin is notoriously unstable, and high heat is its kryptonite. Studies have shown that just a minute or two of high-temperature cooking can almost completely deactivate it. So that sizzle you hear is the sound of the most beneficial part of the garlic being obliterated. You're getting the aroma, but losing the very benefit you were seeking. So what's the right way? The secret is gentle heat. Instead of adding garlic to a scorching pan, add it to a pan with cool or lukewarm oil and bring them both up to temperature together. This allows the garlic to infuse its flavor into the oil slowly. You'll see tiny champagne-like bubbles form around the garlic. That's your sign of success. The garlic will turn a pale golden color, not a dark brown. For dishes like stir-fry where high heat is necessary, the solution is simple. Add the garlic last. Cook your other ingredients first, then add the minced garlic in the final 30 to 60 seconds, stirring constantly. This gives it just enough time to flavor the dish without being destroyed. The takeaway is this: treat garlic with care. Start it cool or add it last. This one small change can make a world of difference. But what if you use gentle heat and still get no benefits? The problem might start much earlier. This leads us to myth number 2. The moment you chop garlic, it should go straight into the pot. We're often in a hurry. We prep our ingredients, the pan is ready, and we want to get cooking. We believe that freshness means immediacy. The shorter the time from cutting board to cooktop, the more potent the ingredient must be. This is true for a fresh tomato or a sprig of basil. But garlic operates by a different set of chemical rules, rules that require one thing we rarely give it: time. Here is the beautiful chemistry inside that clove. A whole intact clove contains a compound called alliin and an enzyme called alliinase. Think of them as two ingredients for a recipe, stored in separate rooms. As long as the clove is whole, they never meet. When you slice or chop the garlic, you break down the cellular walls. You open the doors between the rooms, allowing alliin and the alliinase enzyme to mix. This triggers a chemical reaction. The enzyme transforms alliin into the new, powerful compound allicin. This is the moment of activation. But here's the crucial part. This reaction is not instantaneous. It needs time to work. If you chop the garlic and immediately expose it to heat, you stop the reaction in its tracks. You deactivate the enzyme before it has a chance to produce a meaningful amount of allicin. You've mixed the ingredients but pulled the recipe from the oven before it could bake. So how long should you wait? Research suggests that letting minced or chopped garlic sit on the cutting board for about 10 to 15 minutes before cooking can maximize its allicin production. This waiting period gives the alliinase enzyme the time it needs to work. Think of it as a garlic marinade time. On a microscopic level, you are fundamentally changing the food you're about to eat, making it more aligned with your health goals. The practical takeaway is incredibly simple. After you chop, mince, or crush your garlic, don't rush. Set a timer, walk away, prepare another ingredient. Let it rest for at least 10 minutes before it goes anywhere near a pan or a pot. This is perhaps the single most impactful, zero-cost change you can make to unlock the full power of your garlic. But what if you use gentle heat and still get no benefits? The problem might start much earlier. This leads us to myth number 2. The moment you chop garlic, it should go straight into the pot. We're often in a hurry. We prep our ingredients, the pan is ready, and we want to get cooking. We believe that freshness means immediacy. The shorter the time from cutting board to cooktop, the more potent the ingredient must be. This is true for a fresh tomato or a sprig of basil. But garlic operates by a different set of chemical rules, rules that require one thing we rarely give it: time. Here is the beautiful chemistry inside that clove. A whole, intact clove contains a compound called alliin and an enzyme called alliinase. Think of them as two ingredients for a recipe, stored in separate rooms. As long as the clove is whole, they never meet. When you slice or chop the garlic, you break down the cellular walls. You open the doors between the rooms, allowing alliin and the alliinase enzyme to mix. This triggers a chemical reaction. The enzyme transforms alliin into the new, powerful compound allicin. This is the moment of activation. But here's the crucial part. This reaction is not instantaneous. It needs time to work. If you chop the garlic and immediately expose it to heat, you stop the reaction in its tracks. You deactivate the enzyme before it has a chance to produce a meaningful amount of allicin. You've mixed the ingredients but pulled the recipe from the oven before it could bake. So how long should you wait? Research suggests that letting minced or chopped garlic sit on the cutting board for about 10 to 15 minutes before cooking can maximize its allicin production. This waiting period gives the alliinase enzyme the time it needs to work its magic. Think of it as a garlic marinade time. On a microscopic level, you are fundamentally changing the food you're about to eat, making it more aligned with your health goals. The practical takeaway is incredibly simple. After you chop, mince, or crush your garlic, don't rush. Set a timer, walk away, prepare another ingredient. Let it rest for at least 10 minutes before it goes anywhere near a pan or a pot. This is perhaps the single most impactful, zero-cost change you can make to unlock the full power of your garlic.
Now we know to chop the garlic and let it rest. But what should we chop it with? This leads to myth number 3. A garlic press is the best and most efficient tool for the job. It seems like the perfect invention. It's fast, it keeps your hands clean, and it produces a fine paste. Many of us have one in our kitchen drawer, and it's often the first thing we reach for. We believe that by forcing the clove through those tiny holes, we are rupturing every single cell and releasing all the goodness. We see it as a clever shortcut that delivers a superior result. But is it really superior? While a garlic press isn't useless, it's often the right tool for the wrong job, and it comes with downsides that a simple knife avoids. A press does rupture a massive number of cell walls at once, creating a huge initial burst of the allicin reaction. This results in a very aggressive, pungent, and sometimes harsh garlic flavor. The problem is that many of the sulfur compounds are highly reactive with metal. The extensive contact with the metal surfaces of the press can create off flavors, sometimes described as tinny or metallic. Furthermore, a significant amount of the garlic's pulp and juice gets left behind in the chamber. You're wasting a good portion of the clove. The most important difference, however, comes down to control. With a simple chef's knife, you are the master of the chemical reaction. If you want a milder flavor for a delicate sauce, you can simply slice the garlic. Slicing creates fewer broken cell walls, leading to a sweeter, more nuanced flavor. For a more robust taste, you can give it a rough chop. And for the most potent flavor, you can mince it finely and then use the flat side of the blade to crush it into a paste. This method breaks just as many cell walls as a press, without the metallic flavors and without the waste. A knife allows you to tailor the garlic's potency to your specific dish. It turns you from a button pusher into a craftsman. The practical takeaway is to see your knife as your primary garlic tool. Learn to slice, chop, and mince effectively. It gives you more control, better flavor, and less waste. Don't throw away your press, but understand its limitations. For everyday cooking, a sharp knife is your best friend. This idea of controlling the reaction brings us to our fourth myth. This is for the cooks who love slow-simmered stews and soups. The myth is that tossing whole cloves of garlic into a long cooking dish provides the same health benefits as using chopped garlic. The logic here is about ease and subtle flavor. We think that over several hours, the garlic will break down and release all its goodness, infusing the dish with a gentle, aromatic essence. It's certainly easier than peeling and mincing a dozen cloves. It seems like a perfect, hands-off way to get the job done. But this belief misunderstands the fundamental trigger for garlic's power. The magic of garlic doesn't come from heat or time. It comes from damage. Remember our recipe. The two key ingredients are in separate rooms. A whole clove, even simmering in a stew, keeps those rooms largely intact. The allanase enzyme is very sensitive to heat. When you put a whole clove into hot liquid, the enzyme is quickly denatured and destroyed, long before it has a chance to work. Without that initial crushing or chopping to kickstart the reaction before heat is applied, the allicin compound is never created in any significant amount. You will still extract some flavor. Other compounds will leach out, providing that sweet, roasted garlic taste. But you will miss out almost entirely on the allicin. You're getting the ghost of garlic, not its full power. Does this mean you can't have that lovely, subtle garlic flavor in your slow-cooked meals? Not at all. You just need to add one simple step. Activate the garlic first. Before you add garlic cloves to the stew, give them a good smash with the flat side of your knife. Then let those smashed cloves rest on the cutting board for 10 minutes. This allows the allicin-producing reaction to take place before the heat of the stew can shut it down. After the rest, you can add the smashed cloves to your pot. A significantly greater amount of beneficial compounds will survive and infuse into your meal compared to starting with whole cloves. The practical takeaway is simple. Always damage the garlic first. Whether you slice, chop, or smash it, break those cell walls and then let it rest. Never let a whole intact clove be the first to hit the heat.
Heat isn't the only household ingredient that can neutralize garlic's potential. What about things we don't even cook with? This brings us to myth number 5. It's fine to mix freshly chopped garlic directly into acidic ingredients like lemon juice or vinegar. This happens all the time when making salad dressings or marinades. We whisk together our oil, our lemon juice, and then add our freshly minced garlic. It seems like a perfectly logical order of operations. We assume the garlic will infuse its flavor and benefits into the liquid. We don't think of the chemical environment we're creating. We don't realize that the acidity can act just as swiftly as high heat to shut down the very reaction we want to encourage. The allanase enzyme, the worker that creates allicin, is a sensitive thing. It functions best in a relatively neutral pH environment. Highly acidic environments, like those created by lemon juice or vinegar, can deactivate this enzyme almost instantly. It's like putting the wrong fuel in an engine. The enzyme simply stops working. If you mince your garlic and immediately submerge it in an acidic marinade, you prevent the allicin-forming reaction from ever really getting started. You've stopped the factory before the assembly line has begun to run. You will still get some garlic flavor, but you will have created a dressing missing the key compound you were hoping to gain. Just as with heat, the solution here is all about timing.
Allow the garlic to complete its transformation before introducing it to the acid. It's the same 10-minute rest rule, but it's even more critical here. After you mince your garlic, let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. This creates the window of time for the enzyme to do its work in a pH-neutral environment. Once the allicin has been formed, it is less susceptible to immediate damage from the acid. It's more stable than the enzyme that created it. After the rest period, you can then add the activated garlic to your lemon juice and other ingredients. A great technique for dressings is to mix the rested garlic with the olive oil first. The oil can act as a protective buffer, coating the garlic before it meets the acid. The practical takeaway is this: always let garlic rest before it meets acid. Prepare your garlic first. Let it sit while you measure your other ingredients. This simple change in your routine ensures you're not unintentionally neutralizing the benefits in your favorite salad dressing. We've talked about preparation, but what about preservation? This brings us to myth number 6, a myth that isn't just about losing benefits, it's a serious matter of food safety. The myth is that storing chopped garlic in oil at room temperature is a convenient and safe way to have it on hand. On the surface, it seems like a brilliant kitchen hack. Chop a large batch of garlic, put it in a jar, cover it with olive oil, and leave it on the counter. Now you have pre-chopped garlic ready to go for a week. The oil, we think, acts as a preservative, sealing the garlic from the air. This practice is incredibly dangerous. It creates the perfect environment for the growth of Clostridium botulinum, the bacterium that produces the toxin responsible for botulism, a rare but potentially fatal illness. Here's why. Garlic, a root vegetable, can pick up these spores from the soil. The spores themselves are harmless. However, they produce their dangerous toxin in a specific environment: low oxygen, low acid, and at room temperature. When you submerge raw garlic in oil, you create exactly that environment. The oil seals off the oxygen. Garlic is a low-acid food, and leaving it on the counter provides the ideal temperature. You have unwittingly created a botulism incubator. Commercial garlic and oil products are safe because they have been treated with an acidifying agent or other preservatives. Your homemade version has no such safeguards. The true danger is that you cannot see, smell, or taste the botulinum toxin. The jar may look and smell perfectly fine while containing a potent neurotoxin. So how can you safely prepare garlic ahead of time? You have several safe options. First, you can store your chopped garlic and oil, but it absolutely must be kept in the refrigerator and used within a few days. The cold temperature significantly slows bacterial growth. A safer option is to freeze it. Mince a large batch, mix it with a bit of olive oil or water, and spoon it into ice cube trays. Once frozen, pop out the cubes and store them in a freezer bag. You can toss a cube directly into your pan whenever you need it. This preserves the garlic for months. The practical takeaway is non-negotiable. Never store homemade garlic and oil at room temperature. For make-ahead convenience, refrigerate and use it quickly, or better yet, freeze it. Your safety is far more important than saving a few minutes of prep time.
From fresh garlic, let's move into the pantry and address myth number 7. Garlic powder is a perfectly acceptable substitute for fresh garlic in terms of health benefits. This is a myth born of convenience. Garlic powder is easy to use and provides a consistent flavor. It's great for dry rubs and seasonings. We see garlic on the label, and we assume we are getting the essence of garlic, just in a dehydrated form. We might think a teaspoon of powder equals a clove or two, and that the health properties are preserved in the drying process. But the journey from a fresh clove to a fine powder fundamentally changes its chemical makeup. Most commercial garlic powder is made by slicing garlic, drying it at high temperatures, and then grinding it. The key issue here is the high heat. As we've established, the allinase enzyme is extremely sensitive to heat. The drying process effectively destroys this enzyme. This means that most standard garlic powders contain no allinase. Without the enzyme, the allin present in the powder can never be converted into allicin, even when you rehydrate it. You are missing the key catalyst for the reaction.
So while garlic powder provides flavor, it lacks the potential to create the allicin, so central to garlic's reputation. It is not a nutritionally equivalent substitute. Does this mean you should throw out your garlic powder? No, it has a valuable place in the kitchen for seasoning. But it's important to understand what it is and what it isn't. Some specialty garlic powders are freeze-dried, a process using cold instead of heat. This gentle method can preserve the enzyme. If a powder is labeled freeze-dried, it may have the potential to produce some allicin. However, these are often more expensive and harder to find. The practical takeaway is to view fresh garlic as your primary source for health benefits and garlic powder as a secondary tool for flavor. When you can, always opt for the fresh bulb. And when you use it, remember to chop, rest, and cook it gently. You are the one who can preserve its power, a power often lost long before it makes it into a spice jar. If a little of something is good, then a lot must be great, right? This leads to myth number 8. Eating massive amounts of raw garlic is the ultimate health hack. We see this idea online. People take challenges to eat several raw cloves at once, believing they are flooding their system with a super dose of wellness. The logic is that if allicin is the goal and raw crushed garlic has the most, then consuming it in large quantities must be the most effective strategy. It's an extreme approach, driven by the idea that more is always better. But is it? While raw, crushed, and rested garlic has the highest potential allicin content, consuming it in large quantities can be counterproductive. The same sulfur compounds that provide the health benefits are also potent irritants to the digestive system. Eating large amounts of raw garlic can lead to intense heartburn, bloating, gas, and stomach pain. It can irritate the lining of your esophagus and stomach, making conditions like acid reflux worse. This is your body sending a clear signal that it's too much of a good thing. The goal of healthy eating is sustainability. Forcing yourself to endure the discomfort of eating a whole bulb of raw garlic turns a healthy food into a punishment. Health is built on consistency, not on extreme short-term acts. Furthermore, there's no strong evidence that megadosing garlic provides additional benefit over consuming it in normal culinary amounts. Most studies use amounts equivalent to 1 to 4 cloves per day. It's the regular, consistent inclusion of a moderate amount of garlic in a balanced diet that appears to be associated with health benefits. Your body can only absorb so much of a compound at one time. Consuming an excessive amount doesn't mean you're getting more benefit. It often just means you're creating more stress on your digestive system. The practical takeaway is to embrace moderation. Aim to include 1 to 2 cloves of properly prepared garlic in your daily meals. This is a realistic, sustainable, and effective amount. Listen to your body. True health is a marathon, not a sprint, and there are no shortcuts that involve punishing your body. If eating raw garlic is difficult and cooking it can be tricky, what about supplements? This brings us to myth number 9. All garlic supplements are created equal. Many people turn to garlic pills for a convenient, odorless way to get the benefits. You see a bottle on the shelf that says garlic, and you assume it contains everything you need. It seems like the perfect solution. The supplement industry, however, is vast. Thinking all garlic pills are the same is like thinking all cars are the same. What's under the hood is completely different. There are 3 main types of garlic supplements, and they are not interchangeable. First, there are simple garlic powder supplements. These are just the powder we discussed earlier, packed into a capsule. Most of these have had their allinase enzyme destroyed by heat, so they have little to no potential to produce allicin. Second, there are supplements designed for allicin potential. These are more sophisticated. They are typically enteric-coated tablets containing freeze-dried garlic powder that preserves the enzyme. The coating is designed to protect the tablet from stomach acid. The tablet dissolves in the small intestine, where water rehydrates the powder, allowing allicin to be created right where it can be absorbed. The effectiveness of these can vary based on quality. Third is aged garlic extract, or AG. This is a completely different product. It's made by aging fresh garlic in an ethanol solution for up to 20 months. This process converts the unstable allicin into different, more stable sulfur compounds like S-allylcysteine. Aged garlic extract contains virtually no allicin. However, a significant body of research has been conducted on AG itself, linking its unique compounds to various health benefits. It's a different engine for a different goal. So which one is best? It's about understanding what you're buying. Are you looking for allicin potential or the specific compounds in aged garlic? The practical takeaway is to be a savvy consumer. Read the label carefully. Don't just look at the milligrams of garlic. Look for terms like allicin potential, enteric-coated, or aged garlic extract. Understand that each represents a different set of active compounds. A supplement can be a useful tool, but it is not a simple substitute. Before our final myth, let's address a few common concerns. A frequent question is, what if I have a sensitive stomach? Even a little garlic causes problems. This is a real issue. The answer isn't to eliminate garlic, but to change its form. The irritating compounds are most potent when raw. Cooking, especially slow cooking, mellows these compounds. Roasting a whole head of garlic until it's soft and sweet, or simmering smashed cloves in a soup can make it much more digestible. You will lose some allicin, but you will retain other benefits and flavor without the distress. It's about finding a balance that works for you. Another concern is garlic breath. The sulfur compounds are absorbed into your bloodstream and released through your lungs. Research suggests that eating certain foods alongside your garlic-rich meal can help. Apples, parsley, spinach, and mint contain compounds that may help neutralize the sulfur. Drinking milk with your meal has also been shown to be effective. A few leaves of fresh parsley chewed after dinner has some science behind it. Adapting for your own needs is key. The best health habit is one you can stick with comfortably. And this brings us to our 10th and final myth. It's the biggest one of all. The myth that garlic is a magic bullet. We hear about the incredible properties of allicin, we learn the right ways to prepare garlic, and we start to see it as a silver bullet. We think that if we just eat enough perfectly activated garlic, we don't have to worry as much about exercise, sleep, or the rest of our diet. The truth is, there are no magic bullets in health. Garlic is a wonderfully potent food. The evidence strongly suggests its consistent inclusion in the diet is associated with positive health outcomes. But it is just one piece of a very large puzzle. It is a powerful ally, not a solo superhero. The true secret to health isn't found in a single food. It's found in the synergy of your daily habits. It's the combination of eating garlic along with a wide variety of other vegetables and whole foods. It's adding that healthy food to a lifestyle that also includes regular physical activity. It's managing stress, getting quality sleep, and staying connected. These are the pillars of a long and healthy life. Garlic is one of the bricks in that foundation, but it cannot be the entire structure. The most important truth is that small, smart, consistent actions add up to profound results. Learning how to chop your garlic and let it rest is one of those small, smart actions. So is choosing to go for a walk. They all work together. The ultimate truth is to respect garlic for what it is, a fantastic health-promoting food that can play a valuable role in your overall wellness strategy. Let go of the idea of a magic pill and embrace the power of small daily choices.
So let's bring it all together. We've dismantled 10 common myths. We've learned that gentle heat is our friend and that the 10-minute rest is critical. We know our knife is a tool of precision and that we must always break the clove's cell walls before cooking. We understand to keep it away from acid until it's activated and to never store it in oil on the counter. We see that fresh is best, moderation trumps megadoses, and that supplements require careful reading. Most importantly, we know garlic is a powerful teammate, not a magic cure. The next time you pick up a clove of garlic, you'll see a tiny chemical factory waiting for your instructions. You are in control. You have the knowledge to unlock its full potential. Your simple action of chopping, waiting, and cooking gently transforms it from a simple flavoring into something much more.
If this journey through the science of a kitchen staple has been valuable, if it has empowered you to make a small but meaningful change, please like this video and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. It lets us know we're on the right track, and it ensures you won't miss our next deep dive into the practical science of staying healthy and strong. The power to improve your health is in the details of your daily routine. Take this knowledge, step into your kitchen, and make your next meal just a little bit better than the last.